ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, my good man. What a wonderful time of year. The snow has just started here. I don't know about you in Jersey, but we are getting some serious snow here on Long Island. And what a fabulous Christmas. I hope yours was good. I know you celebrate both, which is awesome. Your tree looked great. The kids around there, the dog going. The whole thing was working for you. I had a really, really great Christmas. I got to say, I did not have any action on any game. And I thought that strategy was phenomenal because I didn't pay attention to the games. I paid attention to everything else that mattered.
That was really smart. Did you decide to do that on your own, or did someone
Yes.
advise you?
I made that decision early in the day, and I said, you know what? These are three particularly uninteresting games to me, other than Detroit having to win, which they didn't, and my stepdad and DB both had Detroit on the money line. So that sucked for them. Yeah, that sucked for them. And DB has Detroit with the season over, and he needed a win and didn't get it. So I felt bad for him. But he also had a cash out opportunity on a 14 parlay that he heard some guy on the fan give. And he put 133 down and he cashed out for 733. So he made $600 before the second game was even done. So I said, you got to take that. You don't even know what's going to happen with Denver, right? So he was happy, and he brought some beautiful wine. We had some Camus. We had some Pappy Van Winkle 10-year bourbon he brought, which is super, super special. And my wife told me I drank a little too much of it. At the end of the night, I was up by myself listening to music, probably a little too loud, and waiting for the dishwasher cycle and reloading, and realized, I had to hit that holiday joint all by myself. I mean, before
you were alone, right?
I was alone. Yeah, like 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. What a fun night, man.
Good for you.
Yeah. So I hope everyone has a great weekend here. Megabucks seems to be tightening up a little, although I see Jesse sort of extending out. 133, I think, is the leader, right?
What happened to Jacob Rubin? I thought he was
not
so hot. I saw he
not
fell.
so hot in Megabucks. He's very disappointed in himself, but I think he's had quite a year gambling. He's won, I'm sure, in the thousands based on some of the bets I've seen. So, but it didn't translate into Megabucks for him. Surprisingly, he's a very good handicapper.
Well, the good news is, for at least want to make a bet, Megabucks New York, there's a final reload coming after next week.
Right.
We sent out invitations to the a little bit late this year, but who cares? Starts today, basically a bowl bonanza.
The bowl bonanza, right?
Giving away 100 cash, starting with every college game starting today throughout this next week and into the championship. So that should be fun. And then like a lot of leagues are getting their final injection of units, or they're coming down to the wire. So it's a great time of year.
That's cool, bro. I love
it. It's interesting the way the league is played out is that it's a little bit anticlimactic, throughout the league. And I think we saw that with yesterday's, Christmas Day games, is that like at the beginning of the year, there was an expectation that all three of those games were going to be very meaningful. And it turns out really none of them were. I mean, Detroit was fighting for their lives. Both Washington and Dallas were eliminated. Minnesota eliminated. And Denver eliminated.
You can never predict.
I saw a weird stat yesterday about so many teams that were in the playoffs last year are actually not even in it this year.
Yeah, totally different. They shuffled the deck this year, which I kind of like,
Yeah.
Everyone got kind of tired of Mahomes, obviously, and Andy Reid in there every year. So this will be refreshing. I think the AFC is kind of wide open now. There's some teams playing really much better football down the stretch here, which is always what you want to do. And the NFC, I think, Seattle and the Rams, to me, are the two best teams. And obviously Philadelphia, until somebody beats them, are still the champs. The Bears do look very good. Can they do it in the playoffs with a first-time quarterback like this? Kind of really tough, but you never know. It's happened before. They have a great coach. So it's going to be exciting. There's some good games this weekend, I noticed, starting with Saturday, right? A couple Saturday games.
Let's kick it off with the first game. And we basically missed the Christmas Day game, so we can just pass over those unless you want to you want to look back in any
Well,
of
I
them.
will say two things. I've been talking to you guys all year on the podcast following the public bettors, right? And they've been really atrocious. They were basically at 38% anytime the public action 60% or more. I noticed yesterday there was heavy action on all three games. The public was all over the favorites, over 70, almost 80% in some instances of the tickets were on the favorites, and they went 0-3 against the spread.
Yeah.
So I know last week I had a rough week, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that in certain instances I've been going against the public. The public last week had its first profitable week of the year. Public was 7-2 against the spread in those situations last week. That has not carried over today. We're right back to where we were the entire year with the public getting smashed. So
Yeah.
keep an eye on that stuff. I think it does matter. Keeps you off, or certain games that maybe you might love and want to load up on. But that data I think is important to know.
Well, I think the two games that hurt you the most last weekend that you loved on the pod and just I know you were betting them were Denver
Detroit.
and Baltimore. And I think those were both pretty much public plays also, right?
I think they were in the like 60s, low 60s.
Yeah, I know people were not betting Jacksonville for sure, and I'm pretty sure in the in the Baltimore New England game that it was it was heavy action in Baltimore.
Not as much as you'd think with that one. That was a lot more split down the middle. But it's funny because we were texting after Zay Flowers scored that touchdown. This was the Thursday night game, right?
Yeah,
last week, or the Monday night game, whatever it was. Anyway, I felt Sunday night. Anyway, they went up 11 with 12 and a half minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I passed out and just went to bed. And then I woke up in the morning, and Gerard was yelling at me. He was out of units. Everyone was. So Baltimore found a way to lose that game and basically lose their season, I think, unless, who knows? I mean, if they can beat Green Bay tomorrow, I don't think Love's playing, right? So it's going to be Willis. Is Lamar playing?
We'll talk about that. Why don't we jump into the card?
Let's start starting with off Texans Chargers game.
That's right. So we got that's kicking off tomorrow at 4:30. I got the lines up here. Chargers are laying 1.5. Total is 39.5. Yeah. I mean, you want to go first here? I can go first.
I think it opened at 2.5. So I think some money has been coming obviously in on the Texans. Both these teams are hot. Texans have won 5 in a row. Chargers are 4-1 in their last 5. This game's very evenly split with the gambling. It's 51% of the tickets are on LA, 50% or 49 are on the Texans. So sort of a revenge game here, right? I believe last time they played, they lost in the wild card game last year, 32-12. I had the Chargers in that game and they were terrible. Texans absolutely dominated them. Normally, Harbaugh has been pretty good in these kind of rematch spots. 9-4-1 against the spread in his last 14 opportunities to avenge a loss against an opponent. Mm-hmm. So, when I saw this game initially, my initial thought was Chargers at home, but the Texans defense has been scaring me. I don't think this one, to me, it's a coin flip game. I can't imagine it being in our top 5 unless you feel really strongly about something that I'm missing here. But this game's just too close to call. And I just think there's got to be better opportunities for us if we're going to only focus on 5 games. This, I don't think, can be one of them.
Okay. I like Houston in this game. I think that my handicap's really almost entirely based on the status of the Charger offensive line. I think they got away with it against Dallas because they had no pass rush. But I think in a game like this, where you're going up against Anderson and Hunter, and the way that they've been playing, and the fact that this is a very high leverage game for a playoff spot for both teams, I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't like the way the Chargers to me have been sort of limping through these offensive line problems the last 3 weeks. And this is not the team to do it against. I don't love Houston. I don't love Houston's offense. Believe me, it's everything seems so difficult still. So I'm a little reluctant to take them.
It's hard to love.
Yeah, if you pushed me on this one, and even maybe if you didn't, I would say I would be willing to take Houston. I think they win.
I kind of like the Texans with you, but I just can't imagine that we would like it so much. These teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
And Herbert has a way of overcoming his offensive line deficiencies and winning.
No, I
games.
know.
So it just, this one to me is a skip.
He also, I beat him up last week on the pod because of the way that he threw the ball against who was the game that they played before Dallas?
Kansas City at Kansas City.
Yeah, they won the game, right?
They won the game low scoring, kind of ugly fashion.
Yeah, he didn't play well, but the game he played in Dallas, I'm pretty sure he was the number 1 EPA rated quarterback last week. I mean, he was basically perfect. So that makes me a little nervous. And I also like the Chargers in the playoffs of all the AFC teams. I think like their odds at like 8-9 to 1, just pure value and pure quarterback experience. Harbaugh, great defense. Like I think they're worth,
coach.
I think they're worth a bet.
Great coach. And
right.
Herbert has to, he's got to overcome it. I mean, he has not been good in the playoffs, but I think a lot of that stuff without Harbaugh, you got to throw out. Harbaugh is a difference maker when it comes to playoff football.
Yeah.
He just seems to get wins, so he's a dangerous team. The Steelers get in with, if the Packers beat the Ravens, which would be awesome tomorrow, then I would obviously know Sunday that, you'd probably wake up and see a lot of the Steelers being rested, because why would you do anything? You'd have Mason Rudolph, but that would be lining up right now. I think if that happens, the Chargers, I think, would be coming to town, assuming Denver wins that division, which obviously you can't assume it, but they seem to have the advantage on the Chargers in that spot. So that would be a really dangerous spot for Pittsburgh, obviously, to have to face Harbaugh in the first round. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't happen.
Okay, so let's move on to that game because it's next. It's Saturday night. It's Jordan Love has been ruled out for Saturday's contest against the Ravens. Okay,
yeah.
So the line came back down from.
He got smashed in the helmet last week, man. That was brutal.
Yeah, so there was speculation that should have been like throughout the week that basically he was going to play, he wasn't going to play, and the line was moving 4.5, 3.5, but he's definitely not playing. And I don't know. I have a couple thoughts on this. Number one, of all the backup quarterbacks that are playing in the league this year, I think this is one of the better step downs in terms of like who the backup is compared to a lot of teams. Like there's a huge fall off with a lot of teams, but I think Malik Willis is capable. He's been around. He has a lot of starts under his belt. And even last week, I mean, it was a little fluky that they lost to the Bears. If what's his face didn't drop the ball on the onside kick.
Dobbs. That was terrible.
He was on my team.
You got the hands team out there. You got to catch that ball and secure it, and the game would have been over.
Yeah, but either way, I think even though Jordan's out, I think that what happened to the Ravens last week and that game against the Patriots is
brutal,
absolute nail in their coffin. I think they're completely done, combined with the home field advantage of the Packers and the fact that you're getting a little extra value, with the presumed sort of bigger step down than I think is actually there with Willis. Christian Watson's questionable, but the defense is healthy. And I would be willing to take the Packers here. I think they smash Baltimore. I think Baltimore is completely done. And I think Snoop Huntley, like that to me is a big example of a big step down in terms of like the difference between the starter and the backup. But what do you think?
So Lamar's definitely out.
Lamar Jackson is listed here as doubtful.
Okay. I did not see
I don't think he plays. And guess what? I so regret that I let you talk me into Baltimore because my opinion of him hasn't changed, and that is he is hurt. And if he starts again, then he's going to play hurt yet again. And if they throw him out there, fine. But I actually don't believe they'll do it. I think they're gonna sit him down for the rest of the season because the season's over. And I would just
the season's not over.
I know
they are mathematically alive if they win. If they win in Green Bay, they go to Pittsburgh. They've already lost to Pittsburgh once, but Baltimore is not afraid to come to Pittsburgh. I know that, and they've won in Pittsburgh before. So, the danger for us as a Steeler fan would be if Baltimore finds a way to beat Green Bay and then we go to Cleveland and lose. then the whole thing is basically on for that following last week. I actually think Lamar was playing fine in that game until I fell asleep. I mean, and Derrick Henry, I mean, you got to blame the loss on Harbaugh, right? I mean, I saw that Derrick Henry was benched for the fourth quarter of that fucking game after he dominated the game. They didn't give him the ball once. I mean, that is horrible. I mean, what is Harbaugh thinking? And then he answered it in such a weird way in the press conference. He said, yeah, we went 3 and out, and I had, we had the normal rotation in there with Mitchell and the backup. And I'm like, but dude, you're paying Derrick Henry all this money. He does his most damage usually in the fourth quarter. Yeah, teams are worn down. They don't want to tackle that big that thoroughbred in the fourth quarter. I can't believe that he went away from him and that he didn't touch the ball from the moment I passed out at 12. I think it was 12 and a half minutes left in the fourth quarter. And, I thought Baltimore had that game in the bag. So I don't know what Harbaugh was thinking. I know that they were grilling him all week in the press about this. I'm not the only one, but I don't think Baltimore's dead just yet. What's the line in this game?
3.5.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Lamar plays, you got to take Baltimore. I mean, Lamar's record against the NFC is insane, and Malik Willis is a backup quarterback.
I can't even believe you're still there after the beating you took last week with this team, that you're coming back with them again.
Listen, if Jordan Love's not going to play, Lamar Jackson's 25-3 straight up against the NFC.
I don't care. He sucks. He's hurt and he's not himself. And all that data, just throw it out the window. Just get rid of it.
We'll see if he plays. If he plays, I'm taking the 3.5. If he doesn't, I'm definitely not doing it with Snoop Huntley. I don't like.
So then if he doesn't start, will you take the Packers with me in this game as a contest pick?
Maybe. The problem with the Packers is they've been bad in December lately. They've lost a bunch of games. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games in December. They haven't been good, and they lost Parsons.
What's their record in Green Bay in December?
Let's see. How does Green Bay do after facing Chicago? Under Matt LaFleur, they are 10-3 against the spread, but they've lost 2 in a row. Green Bay has lost 5 of the last 6 games outright in December or later, including the playoffs. They're just 3-7 straight up in this spot in the last 10 games. So it doesn't tell you whether that's home or away.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't we move on? I have a very strong opinion, and I think it's sort of like at this point in the year, if you can't identify the teams that are done versus the ones who still have life or are still playing hard, then it's sort of like I kind of feel like you haven't been watching. By the way, I put myself in that category like yesterday with Detroit. I absolutely knew they were done, and yet, and I didn't bet on them, but I didn't take advantage of Minnesota, and I loved Minnesota. And part of me was like in my old brain thinking, well, Detroit has to win. They're better. And guess what? I mean, they had 5-6 turnovers. I don't know. They played their worst game of the year, but they've been trending in that direction.
We ruined
certain teams.
We ruined the
trending in bad directions. Arizona's one of them. Miami's one of them. Certain teams have nothing to play for and are playing well, like the Saints. Cincinnati seems to be playing well. I just think at this point we've got to come to an understanding of who's still around and who's not. The Giants to me are completely done. We've been taking advantage of that nicely. I want to do it again this week with the Raiders.
The Raiders are playing nobody, bro. They put Brock Bowers on IR. Crosby's not playing. Mason Crosby's not playing.
You called them out last week, and you called them out, and they played so hard against Houston. They almost won the game. So
I had them with 14.5.
There's something there. There's something going on there with that team, and maybe it's Pete Carroll, and maybe it's something else in the locker room, but they're still playing.
Well, they finally got Genty going, and that mattered. Of course, a week late for me with fantasy at 40 points. A little too late, but you're in the finals, aren't you, Jack?
I'm in the finals, and
I'm excited for you. First year in fantasy.
I know.
And what's crazy, Buckeye Jack's in the finals, man. I'm excited for you. That's great.
This guy that I'm playing had Krosky Merritt on his bench.
And he had a 70-yard run.
27.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing when Clinton Portis came on the broadcast. Immediately, he broke off a 70-yard run. You remember Clinton Portis out of
Of
Miami?
course.
He was great.
That
The only
reminds
thing I'll
me of
say is
the
I know you're
yeah.
down on the Ravens, but listen, New England's been beating teams um a lot worse than they beat Baltimore. So Baltimore hung in there and basically lost on the last drive after um losing their quarterback and having Huntley in there, and they just could not get a first down. They went away from Henry and the cost in the game. I I would be surprised if Lamar plays. I really do think they're going to cover the 3.5. I do.
Okay.
If Snoop Huntley plays, all bets are off. I'll jump on Green Bay with you.
Okay. Let's go to Sunday. Arizona, Cincinnati.
Yep.
I'd like to include this. I think Arizona's done. That's well documented, the way I feel about them. And, unfortunately, we gave back a win last week because we liked Atlanta on the pod and we even submitted them in the contest. And then we pulled back on Sunday morning and just, I know you actually liked. You liked Arizona.
Oh,
no.
that Atlanta played Arizona, right?
Yeah.
And
We
said it
actually
was kind of
both
going to
liked
be like that Jacksonville game.
we both liked Atlanta, but you were reluctant about it, and I thought you had some good points about like them playing back-to-back games, and they're sort of eliminated. And I second guessed it, but
Yeah. We were
man,
looking pretty smart there for a while, staying off it until the fourth quarter. They exploded. Atlanta exploded in the fourth quarter and dominated them at the end of the game. So, bad teams, they do dumb stuff late in games, and it just magnifies the score, right? But I've been kind of riding Cincinnati with the Burrow thing. Yeah. I think he's played well. Obviously, I loved him in Miami last week. And I know what you're saying about the Cardinals kind of quitting. So
you like
I'm fine with it. What's the line?
You like him again this week? We have to lay 7.5.
Yeah, it seems like a lot, but you know what? Burrow hasn't been great, as a starter. With he's laying more than 7, he's only 4-8 against the spread, 7-5 straight up. But the Cardinals are really bad. I mean, they're 1-12 in their last 13 games. I think they've pretty much quit. So I'm okay with it. I would think that Cincinnati is still going to play hard, and try and score a lot of points. And Arizona will score. I could see this, if the game goes our way here, this is Cincinnati scores in the 40s and Arizona scores 20 or 27 points, something like that.
Yeah.
So I like Cincy in the over.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. I mean, I think, look at, I don't see anything changing with Arizona.
Yep.
I think they're done. I think there's a lot of quit. Their entire offensive line's really hurt. Cincinnati's at home. They should be able to score at will. I'm hoping Higgins has a big game for me in fantasy and helps him win the championship. He had a great game last week in Miami, got me 25, but
I love Higgins.
I love Cincy to keep it rolling. There doesn't seem to be any quit. And I think it's just because a lot of it is Burrow didn't get the season he wanted and he's trying to finish strong on a positive note,
Yeah, and like you said, Arizona, I mean, I think they're just done playing hard. They just don't have anything left. Brissett is has not won a game in forever. They shut down Kyler Murray already. I think McBride's hurt. I mean, I think they're in big trouble.
Yeah. Okay, we both agree. Let's move on to Carolina hosting Seattle. Current market is 7 and 42.5. In the contest, we obviously have to lay 7.5, but this reminds me a lot. I don't know what you think when you first saw this, but it reminded me so much of the Rams game when, and I don't know, I don't fully have my head wrapped around the playoff implications of this game, but I'm pretty sure it's quite meaningful for both teams in terms of playoff seedings for Seattle and winning the South for the Panthers, or just getting a playoff bid. Right, because the Panthers are not locked in yet, right? Let me just see
the Panthers. South. I don't think so. I think it's going to come down to that game in Tampa.
So this is a must win. Well, right, in the division. Well, Carolina's got the lead right now in the South. They're 8-7. So Tampa is in a must win game situation so that they can get to.
What's the line in this game? This Seattle game.
Carolina is getting 7.5 at home.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's been a favorite of 6 or more 12 times as a starter in the NFL. He's 12-0 straight up, 9-3 against the spread. So
Hmm.
he's really good. We know the Panthers are better as underdogs than favorites. They're actually 8-5 straight
Yeah.
up as underdogs, and they're 0-2 as favorites. So I do look at them. When I saw this game, I thought to myself, that's too many points.
Me
Carolina is
too.
usually good as an underdog, despite the fact that Seattle is, I think, probably has the best defense in football. The 1 p.m. window has been very good to Seattle. They've won 8 in a row, 7-0 since the start of the season at 1 o'clock. Mike McDonald, the Seahawks are 10-4-1 against the spread on the road, 6-2-1 when they play on the East Coast. So the travel doesn't affect Seattle with this guy, with this coach. It gives me a little bit of pause, but once again, I do think that half is going to be big. I would take the 7.5.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay.
I just, again, it reminds me of that game against the Rams when they were getting 8.5 or 9.5, right? Do you remember?
I thought it was 10 even.
Well, they were getting 9.5 and they won the game. And
Yeah.
we questioned the motivation. I'm not questioning the motivation here with Seattle because they're 12-3 and the Rams are 11-4, and so are the 49ers. So it's, if Seattle wants to, basically Seattle's trying to get home field advantage in the number 1 seed in the NFC by winning this game. So
let me see what the data says here. 64% of the tickets are on Carolina. Carolina's just 2-5 against the spread off a win. And they normally fail to cover this number by 8.5 points per game. So if we're getting 7.5 points, we're kind of right there.
They lost last week.
Carolina won last week.
Didn't they lose to the Saints? In a field goal? Or was that the week before?
I don't know. I thought the Saints played the Jets last week and pounded them.
No, that was,
didn't they?
I think it was, we had New Orleans. It was one of our wins at 1 o'clock, and they won.
Saints pounded the Jets last week, killed them. We had Shuck.
Right. Right.
Carolina won last week, whoever they beat. They beat, they're back to their winning ways. Bryce Young had a good game.
Let me just see. Hold on. We got to keep ourselves honest here. Saints. Tampa? Yes.
Yeah, they beat Tampa.
Yeah.
They beat Tampa. They beat Baker. Remember we said Baker had been 5-0 against Carolina, never lost to them, but there was other data that supported Carolina, and that's why we kind of skipped the game, But, it's all going to come down to these two teams next week. But, for now, Carolina has had a hard time winning 2 games in a row. Yeah. So that's the one thing I would say but we're getting 7.5, and I think that should be enough.
I think so too. Okay. We agree.
Okay.
I'll put them in, and I already have them in, so that's a good sign.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the next game Sunday morning, which is Saints Titans. Jesus.
All right, hold on.
I mean, this is a skip, right?
Hold on, you're going out of order. I got to find it. I'm in a different order than you. Okay. I love the way the Saints are playing, Jack.
Me
We've
too.
been on them. We've been on the Saints 2 weeks in a row with Shuck. He's been phenomenal. I don't know how you get off of him. First 3-game win streak of the year. They're 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games. The Titans did beat the Chiefs, and what a call you had on that, man. Was I dead wrong about Minshew? And you were dead right. They had no players on the offensive line. It was they had nobody. They literally had no players. They shut everybody else down. They've obviously quit. They're like literally tanking. Kansas City's tanking. That's the definition of tanking. I just think
this is a skip. Don't you agree? I mean, these are like 2 teams who, it is exactly what I was referring to early. Both of these teams have 2 or 3 wins. Maybe the Saints have 4, and they still have some fight left. And they're playing hard with young quarterbacks who are still trying, to make, a statement and an effort. But I also think this is the kind of game that I want to stay away from. And either one of these teams could win, and it wouldn't surprise me. I also kind of feel like it's almost like an all-star game, this game, where it's like neither one of these teams are making the playoffs. No one wants to get hurt, and they're just going to let each other score. I'm terrified of Olave in this game because I'm playing against him in fantasy, and he's he's been lighting it up. And I kind of feel like that's going to happen again. But this is a skip for me. I
I
don't
like
feel
the way the
strongly.
Saints are playing. I'm going to take the Saints in the pick pool for sure. I just think they're better
Yeah.
than Tennessee. I like the way Shuck is playing. He's running the ball. He takes care of the ball. Saints still have a decent defense. They make some plays. And yeah, I would be almost surprised if the Saints didn't win this game, but
Yeah.
I'm okay skipping it if it's
Okay.
not something you love.
I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, when I saw this line, I was like, wait a minute, now the Saints are a favorite. I mean,
Yeah, they were
is that where
favored
we are?
last week, and the line went to 6.5, and they hammered the Jets.
Well, they were at home and they were playing the Jets, but now they're on the road. I mean, I know it's the Titans and they're the worst in the league, but still, I was like, geez, is this where we've come? All right, let's move on to a meaningful game. Tampa, Miami. Tampa's laying 6 now is the market. I'm pretty sure the contest is 5.5. I think I told you over the text. I love Tampa. They have every incentive in the world. This is a must-win game for them. You were right last week with Cincinnati and Miami. Miami, to me, clearly has quit. Quinn Ewers was terrible. They're throwing him back out there again this week. They're determined to get him some reps. I don't see why this week would be any different. In fact, they're not going to be able to run the ball with Achane against the Tampa's run defense, which is among the best in the league. And I don't see him beating Tampa with their arm when they need to win this game to save their season. And you know what? Last week, if McMillan catches the ball, Tampa wins. If Mike Evans turns to the left instead of the right on that final hitch, he catches it and gets a first down, and maybe there's more magic. Like I think Carolina got a little lucky in getting that win last week, but either way, I don't see anything like that happening this week. This is a blowout. What do you think?
Listen, part of me agrees with you. I mean, Tampa Bay, when they do play Miami, they don't play a lot, but they've only played them, I believe, like 7 times. Tampa Bay's won every game against the spread, and they're 6-1 straight up and 7-0 against the spread. I understand that they need to win. I understand that they generally play well in Florida when they play this matchup. All that makes sense to me. I hate the way Tampa Bay's been playing. They have not been good. Now, if you telling me they could flip a switch here, get comfortable in Miami, pound them, and get ready to go home to play Carolina for the revenge game and for the division, which I think is going to happen, then I'm okay with that. The line is what are we giving? 7, 5.5?
5.5 in the contest. Yeah. So there's already some CLV for where the market is. I think this will probably close at 6.5.
Well, 90% of the money is on Tampa, and 74% of the tickets are on Tampa. So this is a very popular pick with the public.
Yeah.
Very. And I'm okay with it. We're laying a little less than a touchdown. Tampa Bay, when you say blowout, I don't think Tampa Bay's blown a team out the whole year. Yeah. Even when they were winning games, they were winning by 1 or 2. So I'd be surprised if it was a blowout. I mean, I think they're 1-7 in the last 8 games. So they don't have a lot of confidence. They do have good players, but they don't have a lot of confidence in the way they're playing. So if they didn't own the matchup the way they did historically, I would absolutely be disagreeing with you. But because they do, I think I'll do it. If we need a 5th game, I think I could be talked into Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this: Do you think Tampa's any worse than the Bengals?
I do actually think they're way worse than the Bengals. I think
Really?
Something's wrong with Tampa, man. Tampa has just not been good. I mean, I don't know.
You think they're worse than the Bengals?
I think if the Bengals had Joe Burrow all year, they'd be a playoff team.
And he throws pick 6s and 2 out of the last 4 weeks. Like horrible negative EPA.
Joe Burrow is way better quarterback than Baker Mayfield is, and he'll always be. It's not even close. So Cincinnati's defense maybe isn't as good, but Tampa's defense has really been letting them down. I mean, think about what they did. Think what they did against Atlanta.
I know.
They blew that game. Kyle Pitts dominated that game, So Tampa's been in a lot of must-win games, and they've lost every fucking one of them. So the confidence you have in Tampa, I don't know where it's coming from, but I do like that they're 7-0 against the spread against Miami in the history of this rivalry. That means something to me.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. And I do not like Ewers. I don't think Ewers is a NFL quarterback.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. I may be over enthused, kind of like a possible, trap the way that like a team like Detroit could be a trap because maybe they aren't that good and maybe I'm thinking they're better than they actually are. But there's something to be said for that for sure.
The chips are down now, man. They have exhausted every. I mean, they got to win these last 2 games.
I know, and so did Detroit yesterday.
Correct.
Okay, point taken. Let's move on to Jags Indy. Are the Colts done?
I mean,
are they so done that they're getting this kind of number at home?
I am impressed a little bit with Rivers. I mean, it is fun. It is fun to watch him. Now, can he keep pace with these other teams? Let me just get to this game. We know that we covered this game last time. Jacksonville owns the Colts. They've always owned the Colts. They've been a thorn in the side of the Colts for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Colts are 2-7-1 against the spread versus the Jaguars at home in the last 10 years. That's not very good. 3-17-1 against the spread versus Jacksonville overall. That's 21 games in the division. They're 3-17-1 against the spread. And Jacksonville's playing great. The problem, listen, the issue has been teams after they go to Denver have a hard time winning. And I don't know what that is, but that's one stat thing. What is the line in this game?
It's 5.5 currently. Market 6.5. Let me check on the contest. 6.5.
Yeah,
I have a weird sick feeling that the Colts are going to be competitive in this game, and it's sort of like a market overreaction to getting blown out by San Francisco, who happens to be a very good team. Market overreaction to the Jags beating Denver. A big win on the road now, second straight road game. I mean, is this basically to win the AFC South? Do they have to have this game? Like, is it if Houston wins? Do they have
already won it? I think they've already won it. I don't think anybody can touch them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If you look at their record, don't they have 10 wins?
They're 11-4, and Houston's 10-5. So we'll actually
Houston, right?
So we'll actually know tomorrow if they have to win this game or not, right? If Houston wins that game, which I think they will, then the pressure's on the Jags to win this.
Yeah.
But I
was really surprised by Jacksonville last week. I did not think Jacksonville would go to Denver and play as well as they played. I got that completely wrong. That really shocked me. I first of all, I thought Denver was better on defense than they played, and Nick's wasn't as good. And I can't believe what this guy Cohen's getting out of Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's turned the guy's career around. So Trevor Lawrence was never able to go there and win a game like that, before. So I don't know. It seems very easy. This game, because to me, after watching what San Francisco did to that defense, the Colts have no defense. How the hell are they going to slow down Jacksonville?
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems like an underlay to me. I know it's a popular game with the public. 85% of the money, 73% of the tickets are on Jacksonville. And the public's been bad, but maybe because they were 0-3 yesterday, you get a little reversion to the mean type of thing,
Yeah.
But Jacksonville's clearly better than the Colts. But it's interesting now. The Colts are actually in a position to actually upset the apple cart for Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, it's always been the opposite. And Jacksonville always upset them when the Colts needed a win, in a big spot late in the season. And now the shoe's on the other foot. Rivers on short rest in his career is 25-9 against the spread. I don't know if that matters. To me, the Colts defense is so bad. But their offense is okay. I mean, they have Pierce, they have the tight end, they have Jonathan Taylor. But Jacksonville's rush defense, Jack, has been, it's been incredible. I mean, they're allowing 87 yards a game on the ground.
Yeah,
that's really, really good. So, I guess the public probably has this right with Jacksonville owning the Colts and a 44-year-old quarterback who now, the Colts have been eliminated, right?
No,
they have not.
Not by any means. I just looked at the standings. They're 8-7.
Yeah, I don't know. I would after watching the way the Colts defense has played, especially last week, I can't imagine them putting money on them.
Yeah. Okay.
I just can't. I would take Jacksonville if you like it.
No, I if anything, I think a good hedge play and a good, sort of way to play offense against the contest participants who clearly will be taking the Jags. Like, I actually think this is going to be a field goal game.
It
I
might
now,
be.
I
You could,
the more I
you know,
think
it
about
could
it,
be, but
but
Jacksonville
I agree with you. It's
Jacksonville
hard to
put up
bet
so many
Indy.
points on Denver's defense. I can't imagine they could score 50 against the Colts.
Yeah.
Look what Purdy just did.
Yeah. That was Monday night or Sunday night?
That was Monday.
Okay. Well, second straight road game, coming from Denver, coming off a big win. Got to get up against a team that's got do or die. I kind of just see it coming down to a field goal and the Jags probably winning because they just have it. They just have the mojo this year, and the Colts don't. And then they get knocked out, but it's not going to be without a really big fight. I just can't see them getting blown out. But all right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Next is Steelers Browns.
Wow, let's go.
So I already penciled this in. I'm sure the data says nothing but Pittsburgh because I know this rivalry as well as you do, and we never beat you guys. And we lost our number one running back,
Judkins,
and I'm pretty sure
you got Scatterbooed. Tough injury.
Yeah, I mean, that was terrible. He broke his leg, and Dylan Sampson's questionable. So we basically we don't have a running back for this game. We have a rookie quarterback who's been struggling. We have a team in a must-win situation in Pittsburgh. Basically, next week doesn't even have to matter. If Baltimore loses and you guys beat us, it's over. And you would like nothing more than to not have to win that final game against Baltimore. I know it. And our offensive line, again, is still just in a terrible position. Conklin's on IR. Teller's questionable now. We lost our center. The only guy left is Bitonio at left guard, but we have no tackle. We're at our third string tackle, and he sucks. This guy we got from the Saints. Myles Garrett hopefully breaks the record, and that's kind of the only thing left with the Browns is to just, and maybe Rodgers. Didn't Rodgers give up a stat to somebody? Was that him or no? Sorry,
that was Favre.
Yeah, Favre. He was like
a sack to Strahan.
Yeah, and he got accused of like doing it on purpose. Couldn't you see Rodgers?
Yeah, Gastineau came up to him recently. Gastineau's all fucked up, and it's basically almost fucking punched Favre in the face.
Yeah, couldn't you see? By the way, knowing Aaron Rodgers' personality. Couldn't you see him like giving it to Myles? Just here, I'll give you one.
Just take it.
By the way, he's got to be one of the least mobile quarterbacks in the league. I mean, I could see it happening very easily, right?
Totally.
And I don't know what's going on with your tackles and who's healthy. But
well, this kid I told you about, this kid we plugged in from the practice squad. He has yet to allow a pressure or sack. He's played now. This will be his third game.
Oh, wow.
No one knew his name. His name's Brandon Cook. He's just been phenomenal. I mean, Broderick Jones' career might be over. He might have got Wally pipped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Easily could have been Wally pipped here by a no-name guy. He's playing phenomenal. So he's going to be going against Myles Garrett. Obviously, you said it. The Browns have lost 22 consecutive regular season games to the Steelers outright. I'm a little curious why the line is so short. This game to me, obviously, is Cleveland's Super Bowl. This is pretty much their Super Bowl every year because they're eliminated and we play them late every year and they have a chance to, basically prevent the Steelers from doing anything. And nothing would make Cleveland as a city more, thrilled than to beat the Steelers. I mean, late in the season. So they're going to give it everything they have. With that said, I still think the Steelers are going to win and cover. So I like Pittsburgh here. I really like what Joey Porter said about 3 weeks ago. And this was right off the win after we lost to Buffalo in embarrassing fashion and everyone was calling for Tomlin's head. We went in the next week and we beat Baltimore in Baltimore. And Joey Porter basically said at that point, he said, this is December football. We're starting to really come together on the defense. We know we have a lot of talent in the room, and we look each other man to man in the eye. And if we do the right thing, we don't think we will lose another game. And he said that 3 weeks ago. So far, it's been working, right? They won a couple games. They beat Baltimore. They went into Detroit and they won. It would really surprise me if they lost to Cleveland. I just don't think Cleveland has the personnel,
That's right.
to get this done. They do not have the personnel to get this done. So I like Steelers. I would put it in our parlay or put it in.
Yeah, I have it. I have it in our top 5.
Good.
I just wanted to see what was going on with. Okay, Denzel Ward is playing, but I think the line. I think the line came down a little bit after the suspension was upheld on Metcalf, and so maybe the market believes. I mean, look, he's been such a critical go-to for you guys the past 2-3 weeks. He's like an automatic. He's been incredible. So maybe the market believes that without him, you're going to struggle. But I don't see it that way with your running backs and the tight ends and just.
We're also missing Austin, our number 3 receiver. So you're going to see Scotty Miller this week. You're going to see Roman Wilson. You're obviously going to see Gainwell probably at the wide receiver position, which is fine because he can actually run routes and catch the ball beautifully. So I really like what the Steelers are doing with their zone blocking up front and their running game. And I think that's why Rodgers has been so good because he's so accurate, especially off the play action, where he's able to get into – not so many people coming so fast at him where he's got the time to get rid of the ball. He's super accurate. I mean, he doesn't really throw interceptions that often. And, that's the formula, right? Run the ball well, 150 yards rushing, play better defense, don't turn it over. Great kicker, even though Boswell has a 37-yarder in Detroit, which was very uncharacteristic of him. Still a great kicker. 78% of the money on this game already is on Pittsburgh. So this is a popular bet. Again, I mean, we have a lot of games that are popular bets. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but just as long as we have that understanding that we're going to do that and we're going to have to live with it. But I do like Pittsburgh here. I can't imagine this game being this close. I don't know why it would be. And is there any way we're looking past the Browns to play Baltimore?
No way.
I don't know.
No way. We just don't have, like you said, you summed it up perfectly when you said we don't have the personnel. We don't
have the personnel.
We don't have the personnel. We don't have a quarterback. We have a rookie quarterback who is still struggling and making some good plays. He really has nobody to throw to. Now Fannon's questionable. Jerry Jeudy can't catch. We never had a deep threat the whole year. Our RB1 is out. Our RB2 is banged up. It's sad. There's nothing there. Like our only chance.
You don't want to win. You want the draft picks.
Yeah. And our only chance would be to play a game the way you played against Detroit, which is grind the game to a screeching halt and hand the ball off and run the clock and play great defense. But we can't stay on the field.
You don't have the running backs. Now, if Sampson doesn't play, you're really screwed.
I know. Okay. So it's Pittsburgh. Let's move on. Patriots, Jets, 13.5 on the road. I would lay it, but it's a skip for me. I can't imagine the Jets doing anything except playing for pride. And man, there's just, I don't know. It's too many to lay on the road, but I would never take the Jets. What do you think?
Yeah, I also think it's too many. But there's nothing to like about the Jets at all.
Yeah.
The Jets embarrassed themselves 2 weeks ago in Jacksonville, lit up 51. They got smashed by a rookie quarterback last week at the Saints. The Jets are a non-competitive football team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand unless New England just is not going to care. And they're going to, try and win a game, 20-3, and maybe you get backdoored. The Jets special teams, I think, is the only thing they have going for them. Their kick return, punt return unit has been very good, but they still don't have turnovers. They don't force turnovers. They're among the worst team in the history of the NFL on defense. I don't know what they're trying to build there, but I do hate laying this many in a rivalry game. It seems like too many points, but I think it's a skip for us. We can't bet the Jets.
Yeah, and I think let me just quickly look at the defensive numbers of New England because I'm pretty sure the script for the Jets would simply be to, and it's funny, they did it in New Orleans last week. They didn't let him throw the ball. I think it was well into the second quarter before he threw a pass.
Who, the kid?
So this guy Cook,
Yeah, Cook.
Brady Cook. So
Brady Cook.
if you're the Jets, you're just going to be like, you know what? We're going to just grind and we're going to run it and punt and play defense. And let me just see.
Drake May in his career is 9-3 against the spread on the road. It's the second best mark in the league over the last 2 years behind Joe Burrow, who's 10-3 against the spread. So, maybe this is 44-10 New England. You know what I'm saying?
New England's defense is terrible. It's ranked 28th. It's 26th against the pass, 23rd against the run. So that to me, that's what Aaron Glenn does. Just run.
Listen,
let the kid throw.
It's 13.5. Is it 13.5? If we can't find a fifth game, I think we have to take New England. The Jets suck. They're really bad. Like, the Jets are not competitive.
Okay. Let's move on. Giants, Raiders.
I'm going to put this over here. New England minus 13.5 is a possibility, and circle it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's too many, Cello. I don't want to do it.
93% of the money's on New England and 79% of the tickets.
Wow. I like Jets. I don't see how the Giants are favored. Can you just do, after what you just said, can you just do what my friends tell me to do when I say that? Punch yourself in the face. You just said, I like Jets. Yeah.
There's no way you could like the Jets.
Nobody likes the Jets. I've been pretty good with them this year. I actually have. I gotta say, okay. They haven't done me dirty, like many teams have, but not the Jets for some reason. I feel like I have my pulse on when the Jets are, and like last time I liked them, they were getting a bundle and they covered. Was that the Jacksonville game? Miami? No, they got blown out. It was Miami, I think.
1 to something. They fired the defensive coordinator the following Monday when he walked into The Jets have been awful.
How could the Giants?
Stinks. Garrett Wilson doesn't play. They traded away Quinion Williams. They don't turn the ball over on defense. And they're just, talk about a team that's quit. The Jets in Arizona are the same. They have just absolutely quit.
Yeah.
Let's get to 4:00 because this is a historically bad game between the Raiders and the Giants.
Yeah, I'll say it again.
Worst games I've ever seen.
I said it last week, and I'll say it again this week. How are the Giants favored? Explain to me how they're favored in a football game. They were favored
9 games outright in a row.
They were favored against the Vikings. How are they favored on the road against the Raiders? I like the Raiders. And I'm basing it on the fact that they got a lot
played
of
well at Texans. We had them last week with the 14.5. I couldn't really get you there with me, but I thought it was way too many points and that they competed. Geno Smith is a starting quarterback, albeit not a good one, but he's a starting quarterback, which is better than a backup quarterback, of course. And they played pretty hard. I thought it was really more of a trap game for Houston, like looking ahead, coming off. Houston had a big win the week before, and they were coming up with a big game against the Chargers on a Saturday. I'm sure they didn't take the Raiders all that seriously, and they did enough to beat them. But so it's probably a good buy low spot on Houston, which is why I kind of liked Houston with you, even though they're at. If we wanted to do that, I think I would do it, even though it's a coin flip game. But I cannot imagine us taking this game. I don't want to have any money on this game. I'm sorry. I just don't. Yeah. Both these teams should lose. They should try to lose.
I'm with you. Not going to make our top 5. Eagles, Bills.
But I'll say this. I didn't realize this. Andrew Thomas is out for the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Thomas, when he doesn't play, the Giants are 1-12 straight up.
Yeah.
So I guess gun to our head, if we have to and we can't find another game, we could think about taking the Raiders. But, it wouldn't be fun. But if we had to do it, I would do it. I'd rather have them than the Giants in this spot.
I like when I saw this game, I liked it under the simple fact that I don't understand the market's belief that the Giants are any good at all. And they do. They keep pricing them in a way like they made them a favorite in this game. And I think the coaching change, the injuries, the quality of the defense. Okay, the pass rush is still there. Burns is still out there.
Dak, I liked the Giants last week at home plus 2.5, and they lost by 3. I mean, they were competitive in that game with McCarthy for Minnesota, who had previously lit up Detroit. I mean, I think that's maybe why the market's there with the Giants because they have shown some fight with Dart in against good teams, you know. Um, so and the Raiders are a bad team, right? So like these teams are both bad teams. I can't believe we're even still talking about this game as much as we
Yeah.
are. I don't think we should have any
I
money on it.
tried. I tried to move on. I said Bills, Eagles. I don't know
Oh,
why
you
you're going
did?
back to it. Yes.
Okay, sorry. I'm not even drinking yet.
Well, you look like you've been drinking for 5 straight days.
Well, I had a bender last night with a guy named Pappy Van Winkle.
um, Buffalo laying 1.5 to Philly. Should they be favored in this game? I mean,
I don't care about anything or what anything says. I like Buffalo in this game. I like
really?
Buffalo at home. I like Josh Allen at home. I know that everyone's going to be that the Eagles are playing a little better lately, and they are. There's no doubt they're playing better, but they beat a bad Washington team, and they extended it late in the fourth quarter. That game, if Mariota didn't get hurt, Mariota was winning that game at the half. Remember that was Thursday night.
Mhm.
We
Yep.
had the Redskins, so they're on extended rest, which is good. Um, I don't know. The Bills are 5-0 against the spread this year when they're playing good teams above 500. I think that's pretty good. When they play bad teams, like last week, Cleveland, which I liked, and I had Cleveland last week with 10.5. Buffalo is not good against the spread. They're only 1-5. So I just think this is a one where Josh Allen's going to find a way to win the game. And I don't think 1.5 is going to matter. So I like the Bills.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's Kincaid's out, Knox is out. I'm just looking at their defense. Daquan Jones, defensive tack. I mean, their defense is terrible. Terrible. Jordan Poyer, Rapp is on IR. I mean, they're going to struggle to stop Philly, but Philly does a great job of stopping themselves. They're not going to, look, Buffalo at this point is going to be the 5 seed, maybe the 6 seed. They're not going to win the division because the Patriots have 2 layups. They're playing the Jets and Miami next week.
Their schedule is so easy.
So they're 12-4, and the Bills are 11-3. The Patriots are going to win 14 games, and the Bills are probably going to win 13 and just be the 5 or the 6.
But these late season games, Jalen Hurts has not been good, Jack, recently. He's 7-13-1 against the spread in these December games. Mm-hmm. So he's, Philly's always been like a quick start team. You always look up at Philly, they're like 10-1, and then they make it interesting at the end of the year with some of these closer games. I just think Josh Allen at home finds a way. He's like Superman. He really doesn't lose at home, especially, up there in Buffalo. I don't know if there's going to be snow. It doesn't say there's going to be snow. 41 and a drizzle.
I like Philly in this game. I'm not a Buffalo believer anymore. Their defense is too scary, and they just rely on Josh doing it all. And against it kind of just the way the Eagles have been playing. Their offense, no, it doesn't look like it should in the way that it did last year. But I kind of feel like they're getting some momentum. I don't want to take Buffalo in our top 5. But I hear what you're saying. But I kind of lean Philly in this game.
I mean, Josh Allen's won 14. He's won 12 straight games at home in December.
Wow.
He's 14-1 straight up since 2020 in December at home. Wow. It's just a hard place for Philly to win this game. I'm going to go with Josh Allen. I put Buffalo in. I actually bet already what I call a family parlay. So my sister's a huge Bills fan.
Oh, really?
And for Christmas, I got her a Josh Allen jersey. I bought her a cool winter hat. I got Chris this cool sideline Buffalo hoodie thing with a hat.
Is that because Chris is from Buffalo, or is he?
No, he's just become a Bills fan because of my sister.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They just love, and they don't miss games. And, Michael's always been a Rams fan. I got him a Stafford jersey and one of those cool, funny hats with the ear things. Rams hat.
Yeah.
I took a selfie today. I almost fucking pissed myself. He was all dressed in the hat. He looks great. So anyway, I put a Bills, Rams, Steelers parlay in at FanDuel. I'm going with the family parlay this week.
Bills, Rams, Steelers.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Money line?
we're gonna disagree on this.
You
I'm
laid
gonna
the 7.5 against Carolina with the Rams.
at Atlanta Monday night, 8.5.
Oh, sorry, Atlanta. My bad.
Yeah, at
Oh,
Atlanta.
oh yeah, that was Seattle. Okay.
I think they're probably gonna they're coming off a loss, right? The Rams, didn't they lose to Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna boat race fucking Atlanta.
hmm
But that's another day. So I like Buffalo. You like Philly. Let's move on to the next game.
That is Chicago at San Francisco Sunday night.
Wow. What a game.
49ers laying 3 as the market. For us in the contest, it's 3.5. Big game. Mainly, I mean, look, both these teams are in the playoffs. It's really for positioning and seeding, I guess, from San Francisco. Well, actually, the Bears are going to win the North, right? So I don't know that anything changes that. Right? They are 11-4. Well, actually, the Packers could still win the North. Okay, so it's not a done deal. So the Bears need this game. I don't see them resting. Bears got the magic. Can they keep it going?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's 3 or 3.5.
It's 3.5 in the contest. Market's 3. Hasn't moved.
Tickets are split 52% on San Fran, like you'd expect. You know, Caleb Williams, 6 career games on short rest. He's only 2-4 straight up and against the spread. Hasn't really been good in this spot in his career. Obviously, we know what Purdy's been doing. I mean, the San Fran's 5-0 straight up and against the spread, winning by double digits every game since Purdy's come back. The offense is, I mean, they look really, really good. I know their strength of schedule isn't great. This is probably the toughest team that they'll play, that they have played. But I would have to say, and I've been on the Bears all year. I think this one's going to be hard for the Bears.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's a hard spot for the Bears. I really think this is tough. You know, they have an emotional win last week. They finally got the monkey off the back against Green Bay. I can't imagine them being able to muster that type of emotional response it would take to go in and beat San Francisco, an offense that's been clicking on all cylinders since Purdy's come back. So I like San Francisco. I'm not crazy about laying 3.5. I could lay 3 right now on FanDuel. We got kind of a screwy line there, but let's keep an eye on it. I mean, if the game goes the other way and the line goes to 4 or 4.5, then 3.5 looks like value. I would take it. I would take San Fran.
Well, I don't think anybody's at 3.5, but we are in the contest. So if anything, that might be something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I when it comes to this game, I'm excited to watch it. I don't have a strong opinion. I kind of like the Bears, but I've had the same opinion of the Bears almost every week, is that I like them like very reluctantly. Like I think I'm like most people who have just, I can't believe it that they're as good as they are.
Their coach is amazing, and Caleb Williams is like so elusive out of the pocket, even though he's not an accurate pocket passer. He's actually one of the worst when it comes to accuracy from the pocket. And I mean, I know he made that amazing deep throw on the post play in overtime, right on the money to DJ Moore. So, probably doesn't make me look too smart, but if you look at the numbers, statistically, he's not been an accurate passer from the pocket. But man, when he breaks down, his off schedule stuff's the best, maybe the best in the league.
Yeah. I think they can, if they can hang around with anyone. That they've proven that to us.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me at all if they either win or lose this game by a field goal. So I like the hook. If we don't have 5, I would consider taking the Bears.
It's a possibility. I can't. I'd hate to bet against Purdy the way he's. I mean, that offense is cooking right now. Kittle, McCaffrey, Juwan Jennings. I mean, it's endless. I mean, these guys, Pearsall, they're doing it.
Yeah,
they're doing it every week.
Okay. Final game of the week. Rams Falcons Monday night. Rams laying 7.5 on the road. Feels like a lot, but
it's 8.5 here.
Oh, really?
7.5 in the contest.
Yeah. So no CLV if you like Atlanta.
I just don't love Cousins. I mean, he's just I can't trust him. Cousins is 0-9 straight up and against the spread on Monday Night Football in his career. The Rams
You
are
know,
off
it's
a
funny.
loss.
We said that last week about Cousins when we started doubting him, and he had a good game again
At the
against
that was a
Arizona.
1 o'clock game when they played a 4 o'clock game in Arizona. But on Monday Night Football, he's 0-9 in his career and 0-9 against the spread. And the Rams are going to be an angry, hungry team coming off that loss. And the last time the Rams came anywhere, they destroyed somebody. I forget when it was, but we had him. Puka Nacua went crazy.
Well, remember though, when
They
they
had
came,
lost to Carolina, and the following week they absolutely destroyed somebody. So
they were at home and they played. Was it Miami or Tampa? I think it was Tampa.
yeah, it could have been anybody, but
Tampa.
I like the Rams a lot in this game. I think Atlanta's done. I think Kirk Cousins is not good, and I think the Rams are like a Super Bowl contending team, and Atlanta the last couple of weeks, they always play good against Tampa, so that wasn't a surprise to me. The fact that they went to Arizona and they were losing into the fourth quarter in that game against a team that has quit.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona has quit. They don't even play. So yeah, they rallied in the fourth quarter and they got out of there with a win, but this is a different animal. Like this is such a step up in class. You're going from Atlanta from a team that stopped playing. They've lost 12 straight games to a team that could win the Super Bowl. They are the favorite in the NFC to win the Super Bowl, and they're coming off a loss, and they're on a fast track. I cannot imagine the Rams not scoring 35 points in this game. I think they're going to win this game 38. This is going to be very similar, Jack, I think, to what San Francisco just did to the Colts.
Yeah.
I think it's the same type of thing. It's 40-something to 20.
Their Atlanta defense ranked 15th or 12th against the pass and 24th against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you make a lot of good points. I don't think Raheem Morris is a good coach. I think look, the Falcons are 6-9. It's maybe they're playing for pride. They're on national TV, but I think I tend to agree with pretty much everything you said. You know what I heard? A really interesting stat. I wanted to share this with you and everybody listening.
Yeah,
some woman statistician who's not like from a major network, but she's like a football analytics. She's very smart. She said, and I think it's 80% against the spread when West Coast teams play at night. And it's all based on like circadian rhythms of the human body. Because
the body calendar for them it's just earlier for them.
So when West Coast teams play at night on the East Coast, it's the late afternoon for them, and it's night for the East Coast teams.
Mm-hmm.
And when East Coast teams go to the West Coast, it's midnight for them, right? Because it's 3 hours earlier. So so the West Coast team is now playing in the evening, but the East Coast team it's as if they're playing
as if they're like at 11 at night.
At 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point.
And this is one of those.
Yeah. and so was San Fran.
Yes. And I thought of it. I meant to tell you that before that game, but and I know you like San Fran anyway, but I was thinking about that during the game. And I don't know if it was 80%, but it was a very high winning percentage. So anyway, yeah. I think I agree with you. I think like Atlanta, like I don't want to read too much of them beating Arizona on the road last week. They've had a number of disappointing, like getting shut out by Carolina.
Yes.
Cousins.
This is a game that Kirk Cousins will throw a pick six in this game. He will.
Yeah, and the Rams are totally healthy.
Yeah, I think the Rams have been good. I mean, even if Corum has to play a little bit for Kyron, I know Nakua's back. I think Devontae should be back by now with the hammy. Maybe not. But they still have a lot of weapons, and Stafford's so damn good. And the defense is coming off a performance that they're going to look back on and be, a a little bit upset about. Obviously, they got screwed on that fluky 2-point play that was a backwards pass that turned into a fumble, and Charbonnet picked it up, right, for the 2 points. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And the Rams still covered the 1.5 if you got it plus 1.5. They lost by 1, but the Rams probably feel like they kinda got robbed in that game.
Yeah.
And now they gotta
Okay.
fight for their life. They might not win the division. So they're actually gonna be rooting for Carolina hard to upset Seattle,
Oh yeah.
you know?
And I think there's, I think there's a pretty good chance it could happen. Like I
Yeah.
kind of feel like that game is going to be a hard game for Seattle to win. I think they will win,
It's kinda like
but
when the Rams went there and they lost outright,
and they lost. Yeah,
you know?
that
So,
could
yeah,
really
I
hurt
kinda like
the.
that, and maybe that might be a parlay too for fun. Carolina money line, Rams parlay.
Yeah,
I like that.
I don't even want to know how many people are going to put Seattle in a teaser with
Oh,
like.
that week when the Rams lost to first of
Ugh,
all, it killed a lot of people at Survivor that took them on the road because they thought Carolina was so bad. But those 3 and 4 team teasers in our pool,
yeah,
massive
yeah,
blowups.
yep.
And that's what it takes.
Um,
Takes a big favorite to go down and not get there on the 4-teamer to see real destruction in these
oh
accounts.
yeah, yeah. It happens all the time. Happens every week.
Yeah. So what do you got
It
tonight?
just
Any bowls? Any good bowls that you like, or you have any college play? Your guy's been good on the want to
He's
make a
been
bet.
great. Yeah.
4-0.
Reminder to everybody, check out Liam Baylor, young college football analyst who's been writing for us. He had Northwestern earlier today. He's currently on New Mexico over Minnesota. I don't know what the score is, but he's pretty much been doing every bowl game. He hasn't won. He had Miami against Texas A&M. That was a great call. But what I think was better, I mean, yes, he's picking games, but man, he's doing such a good job of analyzing the injury situation, really covering, it's hard to know what these college team does. And he also has a very good beat on what's happening with NIL because, a
Mm,
lot of like high profile players will sit out the bowl game because they're going into the NIL transfer
you don't want
portal.
to get hurt.
And so, yeah, they don't want to get hurt and the team and so there's just, he's got it all covered.
Yeah.
And he seems to be finding value. So yeah, check
Well,
that out.
he's giving out winners that want to make a bet in college. If you don't know what you're doing, like me with college, I might just rely on that guy and take my shot. Whatever.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in mega bucks, but maybe on FanDuel with some of his picks, and also maybe in the college bowl in the bowl bonanza.
That's right.
All right, use his picks in the bowl bonanza. So let's just
Do it.
review real quick, Jack.
Yeah.
I have circled games that we agree on. We like Cincinnati at home. We like
Yes.
Carolina at home. We like Pittsburgh at Cleveland. We like the Rams at Atlanta. We're watching Green Bay. If Huntley plays, we're going to take Green Bay minus 3.5. If Lamar plays, I'm going to get off it. I know you like it either way. Tampa Bay, we're wondering if we trust minus 5.5. It's there. New England, they might just blow out the Jets. I know you think it's too many, but New England would be there for me in a pinch if we need them. And maybe Jacksonville, even though something smells a little fishy about that game to you and to me, honestly. But
Okay, wait.
but
So
they do own Indy
I have Tampa, Pittsburgh, Cincy, Carolina.
and the Rams.
Okay, the Rams, by the way, the contest line is 8.5.
It's okay. That's the live line. It's not going to matter.
So that's 5. And I would say looking at that, I mean, I'm comfortable with all of them.
Jaguars seems a little bit weird, the line to me. I don't know why it would be that low.
The Jags are 6.5.
And it's 5.5, like live line. Somehow
Yeah.
money's coming on Indy. You kind of
Yeah,
thought in the pot, you thought maybe it would be a 3-point game.
I think the Colts is the right side in that game. I
Okay.
think I think what you said, you had a lot of great points, but I think the market may be overreacting to the San Francisco loss and the Jags win over Denver. And
And
this
the win to Denver. It's hard to go win a game coming out of Mile High the next week. So maybe they win, but maybe they don't cover that number. Maybe it's closer than we think.
yeah. And
All right,
the
so we got 5.
only,
I like Cincy at home. Carolina, Tampa will trust against Miami because they own that rivalry and they must win. We like Pittsburgh because Cleveland just doesn't have the personnel anymore to do it. Too many injuries, and we think the Rams are going to do to Atlanta kind of what San Fran just did to the Colts. That kind of a high scoring, high octane type of game where they just won't be able to keep up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. No matter what the situation, it's the NFL, and to lay more than a touchdown in the NFL, especially you got a Monday night home dog getting 8.5 is scary. And so I don't, buddy. I don't love that one as much as I like the other 4. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, I would switch and get off the Rams and get on the Colts at 6.5. But we'll talk. We have time.
Yeah, the only thing that gives me hesitation with that is just Jacksonville's dominance of the Colts historically. I know this is a flip the script type of thing, like we talked about. Like finally, the Colts have a chance to upset the apple cart for Jacksonville for once, and maybe they relish that role, and it reverses the history of this thing. But the history of this thing, the Jaguars own the Colts, so it's kind of weird with a 44-year-old quarterback coming off of I don't want to say embarrassing loss, but I mean, they got blown out. I mean,
and then the other thing we have to watch tomorrow, if Lamar doesn't start, I would take the Packers in a second.
I would do that if Lamar doesn't start, but he's still betting on Malik Willis. I'm just, against a team that's desperate for a win that has Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I thought he played again. I think Baltimore's done. I thought they were desperate for a win against the Patriots.
They had it. They had 11-point lead, and they went away from their horse. Believe me, Harbaugh, if it was any other coach, he might have gotten fired for that.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Great show.
Right, Jack. Great job,
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Let's have a cocktail.
Let's take next week. I'm not sure when we'll do the show, but maybe
figure it out.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
I'm not going away. You going anywhere south? Like going to be on the beach with Gerard? No.
How about him? Wednesday is New Year's Eve. Thursday, New Year's Day. So maybe we do Tuesday next week.
See what Gerard does? You see the way his chair was pointed away from the water toward the sun?
Yeah.
So the picture was his body and then right at the hotel. Like you don't even see the ocean. You don't even know it's there. That's amazing.
Oh God.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Great
Thanks
job,
everybody, for tuning in. Good luck with your selections this week.
Good luck, guys.